Utopia on the red side defending, Oops on the blue side attacking. Now Utopia setting out, splitting their teams, Mojo, standard positions here, but I mean, Oops are going hyper aggressive actually on the right side.
They are trying to establish themselves before Utopia can cut them off from action, so that's why they're going with so many butchers immediately there. Melan does seem he kind of failed the boost there, because I think he should have been on the top already, and Deha, of course, he's going full speed ahead with that mouse. This is going to be quite a clash here, Ryan.
This is going to be a head-to-head really quickly. Tanks are getting spotted out. Shoku, Vilkia and Biku are spotted out. Here comes the battle as Camila is getting focused down. Shoku's getting focused down on Utopia. Which tank will fall first? Deadzone's taking some shots as well. They're not actually focusing tanks at the moment. They're spreading the shots around. This can be dangerous because the tank doesn't fall. But no, Biku and Shoku fall. Wilkie's going to fall one more shot and he goes down. And this is a great start for Oops as they get 3 tanks of Utopia down in quick succession.
I really don't see how will actually Utopia come back from this round at the moment. Yes, they can do a counter-attack, but once the Oops tanks come up to the reload, they have the gun advantage, they have the HP advantage, whatever you want. And they still have that mouse that can just go charge and soak up any shells possible at this moment. They had that 1 tank more there. Utopia did send a lot of tanks, but they didn't spot the middle on a time. They didn't see any kind of possible rotation, and they got caught quite easily there. Papa Pavian is trying to take Arti out of the equation, but honestly, even if he connected here on silence, it really doesn't matter. Arti is not important factor anymore.
Yep, Meland doing Overwatch duties there for his artillery, getting the kill here. Colozoid now up on the hill. It's only him, Dynamo and Muka in the TVP. This is going to be a very quick round here for Oops. It just depends how long they want to take it before they actually seal the deal and kill these 3 remaining tanks from Utopia. We see Dynamo take another shot. Silence is going to come off reload. They might actually have an angle on someone. Will he be able to connect though? Because he knows Colozoid and Muka and Dynamo up there. Muka's actually spotted, so we could see an artillery shot coming in.
Yeah, they can easily just even send 1 budget to the other cap, because there is no one who is even remotely able to spot it or do anything about it. So they can send, let's say, Dead Zone with the least amount of HP to go do it, and everyone else can just sit back and relax and wait for the reaction for Utopia, which is bound to happen there. Or they can just go and kill them with RT, climb up, whatever. Like, Utopia's fate is pretty much sealed, at least in this game.
It's just a matter of when are they going to die, because there should be absolutely no way whatsoever that Oops can lose this one. All they need to do is try and get vision on these tanks of Utopia, so perhaps Silence can get a huge hit onto Dynamo or Colozoid. Melan looks like he's trying to flank around and just get a bit of vision for his team.
There is always a way to throw around, Ryan. You know that by now. We've seen it happen multiple times. Oops were one of the guys doing it actively during the season.
They did blow away a 4-1 lead against Ding. That's a fair point.
Yes, but we've seen them even on Cliff by losing by Suba, if you remember, after clear lead and everything. But I don't think this will be the case. I think this is already established lead here. Interesting, you pointed out when the game started, we don't see Insane at the moment playing for Oops. We will see, we'll be seeing him on some other map. And for Utopia here, Shuko is actually playing.
Deka's climbed in the mouse all the way up onto the hill. Good luck, Muka and Colozoid, getting through this, because at one point he's just going to force them off this area. Right,
yeah, Rulezik is not playing. Rulezik is not playing for Utopia.
Muka shooting into Deka here. Deka's trying to get him, forcing backwards. But look at this, the rest of the Oops tanks are now pushing up onto the hill as well, as Dynamo and Colozoid come running up as well. Artillery shoots, a little bit of splash damage there, 396 onto Dynamo. Muka's going to get a lot of damage here into Deka, but I mean, look at this, they're just falling slowly. Slowly in Utopia. Spoint getting the kill now on Dynamo. Colozoid looks like to be the next one, focused down. Camille rams him. Muka has only got like a sliver of health, 21 left as Dead Zone rams him to death, and Utopia survive. Go hard. Wow. Oops survive with 5 tanks still on the board.
Well,
actually 6 tanks.
Rather convincing victory here by Oops. It was a risky play in the start, but something I would actually expect, because when you play with a mouse, you do not want to get cut down on a lower playfield. You need to establish some of the control up, and that is something that Utopia should have known. Sending 3 budgets around, yes, that's fine, but where was the follow-up? Why were the rest of the tanks not ready to charge in if they are engaged? Like if they had a pincer movement around that big mountain area, that would be fine, because those 3 guys would not die in vain. They would actually wipe out all 4 budgets for Oops, and then they would be left with mouse, 1 budget and Arti. And automatically they would be out of the game, because they would have no mobility whatsoever. But like this, it kind of looked sloppy planned, and they didn't really they didn't have any contingency what would happen if they are charged with multiple budgets. more numerous
Yeah,
force.
I mean, they split the other guys way far left with the two Batchats and Papa Pavan and the T-49, and they couldn't do any crossfire at all, really.
If they were just aggressive on the middle with the rest of the tanks, they could have just charged over and struck in the back of the Oops tanks while they're still fighting. But none of that could happen. And look at this. All Oops here, top 4 spots, 2.8k for Spoink, who didn't play in quite a lot of matches lately.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a bit of a risky pick for fantasy teams. All three of us picked him last week, and he didn't play in a single game for
No,
Oops.
that was 2 weeks ago. And then last week I didn't have him. I don't know if any of you had him.
Last week we picked somebody else who didn't play in all the games, or one of us did. Shoku back in the lineup after not being in the lineup yesterday. Silence didn't actually land any shots at all. Papa Powan only got 269. I mean, artillery, it's always a joke about hit or miss, really. It wasn't really much of an impact, but the Batchats at the start, it was 4 on 3, and the vital thing was as well, Mojo, is they didn't lose one of their own tanks in that exchange.
Actually, Algo died.
They could have easily lost a tank.
Algo died.
Did he?
Yes.
Okay, my bad.
They still have 3 more, so it doesn't really matter.
Because the focus fire wasn't so great at the start. Then actually, they
It was kind of sloppy. Of course, Utopia was backing up and using every slope of terrain in their advantage. But let's go. Another game is on here. STRV here in defense for Oops. That is something we haven't seen so far. And Utopia playing identical pick in attack. That's rather interesting. STRV is fast enough to boost on a position that is usually used by TVP. So that is my best guess that he will go there.
He could be up there. The other one could be he could play around that ridgeline area on one of the up roads. We saw there was another tank we saw playing in that area. I think it was an IS-7 or something else on the roads ramp, and it played really effectively. Round about C5, I think it was. It had vision of the hill. It was really good.
I really don't think they can use him there because he can get side shots then.
We'll see. I mean, it has potential, the flexibility to be used in lots of places. It is pretty much as fast as it is in reverse as it is going forward. It has a ridiculous camo value, so if they park up somewhere behind the bush, it can just farm damage very easily.
Only 2 things I see for him on this map. Either that A5 position, or they can charge into the middle somewhere with all the tanks to prevent Utopia going anywhere.
Yep, Utopia on the red side, they're going to be attacking this time. It's going to be Oops on the blue side defending. And let's see where this TD goes. Now, it's going to be Silence playing it. He's following up with the rest of the team. I think you might be right, Mojo. It looks like it's going to be A5, A6 maybe. But
no, we need to see will they actually charge the middle with everything. That's going to be decided in a matter of seconds. And that's going to be the crucial part because Utopia is actually the moment all over the place. They might try to snipe someone down who peeks on the top. But this is kind of passive play that I really don't like because it heavily relies on counter-attack by these Batchats.
Yeah.
But by then, Oops might have all the critical positions. And as you said, Silence is actually going for the middle. So he is going to gather up and they do not want to make the same mistake as Utopia. You can see their tanks are much more close together. Algo is spotting there and Silence. But Camille already took a shot.
He's on fire. He's burning to death, Mojo. He's not going to survive this one. Or he is. He actually is. He's got a... Wow, look at all that Mojo damage.
That was a blind shot by RT for 1,000 damage here on Camille. That driver, oof, he really didn't need that.
Broken tracks, broken radio, broken fuel tank, and a dead driver. So likely the fire damage came in via the fuel tanks, probably a red. Nice hit from Papa Powan to start off the battle. Would he have known he got a connection there? Not really, actually.
If it was a direct shot, yes. And I seriously doubt he would set him on fire with a splash.
Bihu now being spotted at 2 shots going into him there. Utopia. Now we can see the tanks of Oops here actually going for a wraparound, Mojo. And following on from what you're saying, this is potentially devastating here for Utopia because
Shuka is dead. He's cut off. Like he didn't even move while Bihu was getting shot. And he would know that he will get triggered, like he will get surrounded. So this was a sloppy play. It was a good opening by that Arty. But what now? They're locked down in the lower positions here. They will use a mouse to push the lower side. And yes, Kami losing so much HP will be a problem, but unless actually Papapavian makes it even again by shooting one of the Batchats, this is again Oops game.
So many missed shots initially coming in there for Shoku, but he does go down now. The only thing that Utopia can do is break out through the middle. They need to try and get some high ground, get some angles, and that's exactly what they're doing as Mocha, Dynamo, and Realizic are pushing through in this area. But look at this, Dead Zone already has that area covered. Algo's up above him, so Algo can spot out everyone coming over this side, and at some point, Oops are just going to say, guys, let's push. Let's carry on the push down south here. Mail and proxy spawn a tank right beside him. Look at this, Realizic now moving up in the mouse. Easily spotted, easily spotted. Oops are in complete control here. The map control is ridiculous. This is a problem that Utopia have. They're stuck in this corner. It's going to be really hard for them to try and get any ground now.
Yeah, Utopia played super passive from the start, relying on shooting with RT and some counter shells. But that's nonsense, because then you give the enemy all the possible angles to use against you. And this is the kind of plays you cannot allow yourself on a dynamic map like Cliff. And they're now literally only depending. Will Papapavian connect a big shell on one of the budgets? If he doesn't, and they already lost another budget.
Great play there from Spoink, peeking out onto the bat chat that was directly in front of him. There was always the risk of Papapowan shooting him, but Papapowan wasn't ready for that. If Papapowan had shot, he knew that he would get shot back in return. So 2 bat chats down for Utopia. This is not going well for them at all. And you just saw when Muka tried to make a move there as well, he took multiple shots in the sides. And you could also see Silence reposition himself, because he can chew, absolutely chew through that mouse armor if he gets the shots available to him.
It doesn't even matter, is it a mouse or a budget. Unless he gets blind shot by RT, he's pretty much safe there. It's gonna be super hard to pen him. And what will they do now? Mouse is 20 kilometers per hour at his fastest moments, which are not easily achievable always. And it's easy to just bypass him and go fight everyone else, just leaving him behind.
Yep.
He has a great reload now, a great gun. Below 10 seconds reload, that's perfect. But still, you have to get him in position to actually fight. And Butchats are just fast enough to go wherever they want and avoid him.
Dynamo moving off that flank took another shot in the butt as he moved away. So it was either Dead Zone, maybe even Camille or Silence that got the shot there. And well, Utopia don't really have any kind of plan they can do here. No matter which way they go, there's Oops guns waiting on them. Oops are on the defense as well, so it's Utopia that has to make the plays. They can't run down the clock. The more the clock runs down, it plays completely into Oops' hands.
So far, all we've seen in this game from Utopia is a blind shot by Papapavian that costed Camille 1k HP. So after that situation, when we're looking now, 3000 HP advantage for Oops, all positions under their control. And honestly, this is a mop-up operation, and this will be a 2-0 for Oops. I don't see any way Utopia can come back from this one.
Algo has to be careful there. He's trying to blind shot into Papapowan and took one back from Colozoid there. Now Papapowan's just coming off reloads. Realizic taking one in the side there, 399. That looks like it came from Silence there, or possibly the Dead Zone again, just continuing to harass them. Actually, Dead Zone's got all his shots, so it looked like it was one from Silence. And yeah, this is pretty much a done deal here. Utopia would have to do something spectacular to break out of this. They've only done 2 shots, as you're saying, Mojo, outside of the artillery shot. And in return, they've lost 2 tanks and taken multiple hits on the remaining tanks.
Well, it's not about what can Utopia do now. It's about Oops not throwing around. If they just hold off their positions and do as they're doing now, bleed their HP all over the place. Look at this sniping on Colozoid. And I think he's perma-checked, and I think this will be it, because one of these guys should finish him off. And there we go.
Spoink putting a shot right over him there when he was stationary. But he does go down again. I mean, some of the shooting here from Oops could be a bit more precise, but they are getting the job done. They are taking the tanks out of the battle. And at the same time, they're not taking a lot of shots back themselves, although Silence actually just got hit there, Mojo.
That
Perhaps a blind fire from Realistic and Dynamo, yeah.
Because 100% he was not spotted.
Algo now trading shots with Dynamo. Algo has to be careful for artillery wanting to get a shot at him as well. Shots going over Realistic's head there, and actually Dynamo's now getting shot at from mainland in this position. It's a great Overwatch position. Bounces one there off Realistic. One more shot. Bounce again.
You can see clearly now why Oops played aggressive in the first game. Because this is exactly what happens if you let map control to the enemy. What use is the mouse and his all armor and his all HP if you don't have the protection of those fast budgets, if they are not in position to do anything? You are absolutely useless. You cannot be used as a battering ram on your own. You need protection of the flanks. So, I don't know, you can even compare it to medieval tactics, man. You have heavy cavalry in the middle, fine, they pushes, but you always have light cavalry on the flanks.
Yep.
That is taking care of you, essentially.
Yep. Papapowan lining up a shot here onto where Spoink and Algo are. Lets it flies, but there's no connection. And now he's on a reload for a considerable amount of time. At what point, Mojo, do Oops just push in? And
I
just
really
say, okay,
don't understand why they're not doing it already.
Yeah,
I mean both of these budgets on Overwatch, there is only a mouse and an RT, except that they can just go in and finish the game, but obviously they're not in a hurry. They already won it, they know it.
They have almost 3 times the HP of Utopia right now.
Yeah, they're
crazy.
just not in a hurry. They're maybe already discussing what they're going to do on steps.
This could be a blind shot. This could be a blind shot here onto Camille.
Still, not like it would change much, except Camille's fortune.
It's a different bush he was going for.
Yeah, he's more on a corner.
Yeah, it was the bush to the left of him, not on the corner. You didn't even hear the explosion.
Camille was changing his position, he was left and right, but still it doesn't matter. 2 minutes till the end, man, and Utopia virtually has nothing to do. Very sorry about that, but maybe they will do something better on the next map, which is Steps.
Deka finally picks up the kill on Dynamo. There's only 3 tanks left here. It looks like Oops are finally going to make that push to go try and get the jump onto Realizic. Algo's going to lead the way, then Spoink's going to be right behind him as Dead Zone is trying to come around here and perhaps look for Mucka, because Mucka is on a one-shot. And realistically, there's no reason why Oops don't just push in here. And in a way, it almost seems like a bit of a power play against Utopia to say, look, we totally had you. You know, you've done nothing in this battle, and it's because we've decided that way. Spoink now actually getting shot at by Mucka. Has to be careful he doesn't go down here. Actually, Papa Powan getting the kill. This is perhaps what Utopia were scared of. Now look at this, Dead Zone and Algo can take out Realizic from the back here. All that's left is Papa Powan and Mucka as Algo gets the kill on Mucka. Papa Powan, only one left for his team, 1 minute 20 seconds to go. And well, this is a strange ending from Oops here, Mojo. They certainly could have done this a lot quicker.
They could have done it in any given moment, but as I said, they had every right to take all the time in the world. They're firmly in a lead, taking entire map 2-0 for Oops after Cliff, and this is the best start you can imagine as any team when you open a match, because now they can just play and let Utopia chase the result and just reap the consequences.
Yeah, I think that might have been from Oops as well that they were talking. We talked about it past to Mainland. I've been asking about, you know, their comms, about the team spirit and stuff like that. And that was perhaps just a time for the guys just to chill out and talk to each other, say, okay, guys, this went really well. Like, well done, lads. Let's go into the next one. Nice, chirpy, cheery, positive attitude. And that's probably doing really well for Oops. They're on a bit of a upward slope right now. They're doing really well. And can they maintain it is going to be the big thing, Mojo. Can they take this into the next map? They're going to go into Steps and then Prokhorovka. Can they continue? They could have it wrapped up by the 3rd map here if things keep going this way.
And we're going to see that. Algo here doing the heavy hitting, 3.3k in his 20 shots here. Nice result. Papa Pavian doing the most damage here for Utopia, probably almost only damage. But as you saw, this was a very passive game. There is nothing much to say about who did how much. Essentially, Oops just cut him off in the start, and after that it was a cleanup operation for the rest of the time.
Yep,
there is nothing significant to point out after that moment.
They were just bleeding him out. It was almost like death by 1,000 paper cuts. There was nothing that Utopia could do, and every time they did peek or did poke or just...
Look at this, Shuku, he was caught first, if you remember, in that upper village area, and Bihu, who tried to do the proxy spotting. They were both taken out rather cheap, without any significant protection from the rest of the team. After that, it was just GG.
Yeah, Colozoid only getting 1 shot off, so it's 3 back chats for nothing. Yeah, not good at all there from Utopia. But this is something we kind of said before, like they just kind of don't seem gelled together as a team. It doesn't seem quite team-orientated, whereas Oops on rebound of a couple of bad defeats, but now suddenly they're 4th place, and they're like, hey guys, like, okay, we can't get 3rd, but we can hold 4th place, which is actually the best we can hope for right now.
Oops was sitting on 6th position for a long time.
Yeah.
Which is quite low for a team of their aspirations, but they're getting better.
And the thing is if all Oops really need is playoffs, win playoffs, get to LAN finals, and they stand a very good chance of perhaps going to grand finals with the grand final points.
That's still debatable, and
we're gonna have to get the calculators out for that one. Yeah,
it's gonna be really hard, and it depends a lot on other teams also. But good for them here is they beaten Utopia twice. It does look like they're really overmatching them now, and in playoffs there is like really huge possibility they will actually play Utopia.
Yeah, and we will if that happens.
But we will see. Utopian attack, as we said, they might take an RT here, and there you go, a tier 9 M53. A heavy hitter for them, probably played by Papa Pavian, and a mouse and an object for 30. There is a lot of cap potential there, but they do rely a lot on hitting by that RT because they cannot just approach the cap easily with those.
Can do some devastating damage, and it is no surprise indeed to see that as Papa Pavian playing that RT. Now, can Utopia bring this back to 2-1, or are Oops going to lead the way and go 3-0? Let's find out. We're jumping into Steps.
Steps, the most open map in the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually begins the attack from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light vehicles with a good camouflage rating, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret and even SPGs.
Utopia on the red side are going to be attacking into Oops blue side defending. Utopia have this awesome funky blue digital camouflage, and Oops, well, they have the camouflage of the giraffes, because the full team name is Oops, the Tough Giraffes. I'll go
tight,
so close. I don't think he does.
No, he does it, but he needs to take some more. Okay, this was a fast boost, so it's still okay for him. He will get to that elevated position, but we already seen, and we've done a video, if you remember, how dangerous it is and how Arti can easily take you out. Bihu is taking a position in E1, so he wants to prevent any possible counter-rotation from Oops from that side.
Camille's
but majority of team is going on other side. Yes, but it doesn't matter because the main play is here, where Algo is. So Camille, at that point, honestly, will not be very useful for them, because I don't really think Utopia will try to relocate with mouse and object 430. Tier 9.
Dead Zone spots out Shoku now. The biggest danger here is that Algo is up in that area, which is a great place to spot from, but he's going to be playing against Papa Pavin in that artillery, and to be honest, I would not want to be a scout up in that hill with Papa Pavin in artillery. As look at that, he actually gets a moving shot there on Dead Zone.
That's a splash damage there, but he didn't track him, so it's fine. And he didn't lose any crew members, because we all know that commanders of Bachats like to linger around the tank and they die all the time. The biggest danger here for Utopia is if actually Oops mounts a huge counterattack by all 7 tanks here while Bihu is away, because then effectively they will have only 5 guns, but one would be mouse. And if Arti doesn't really connect, it would be already GG. Algo is on elevated position. We know how dangerous it is. He can snipe them all the time, and it does look like actually Oops wants to take an early engagement.
Oops pushing up here with the two 113s. Muka is behind a depression here, so this is going to be really good actually positioning from Muka to shoot into these two 113s. The danger is, of course, you have Papa Pavin be able to shoot across onto them, and this is actually going to be a hell of a fight in a couple of seconds, Mojo, once this happens.
Man, why on earth is Camille still on the other side of the map? Like, they have Arti, they will dig them out sooner or later, they have all the tanks there, they have all the time in the world. Utopia can really work a number on Oops here. If Camille doesn't move, they will actually be outnumbered here.
Yeah, I think it's because they only spotted one Batchat. They only spotted Shoku so far, so they've not fully committed at the moment. Mayland is spotted. Now Papa Pavin looking for the RU of Algo up on the hill here. Might blind fire.
Oh, this is the spawning bush, but he's not there.
Algo's not there. Algo's not there. He's going to see it come in though. He's going to be, okay, Artie's fired. Now we might get the movement here from Silence and Deca. They're holding lines. Rulizic
Camille needs to move. There is a mouse spotted. He really needs to start moving. He needs to join his team, at least to be somewhere around the middle area so he can cut through and help his teammates.
There really is no need for him to step there. I guess Oops are worried about mind games right now. They're just pushing in this area. They're going to try and run around the other area. You can see.
I'm sorry, but if Bachats even go to 1 cap, what will you do with Camille?
Yeah, I know. The
who
thing
cares
is
about that?
You can see in the minimap here, Camille is still up in that area. Unless he's flipped right now and we don't know it, unless he somehow managed to flip himself, which I highly doubt, then at some point he should come out. Look at that artillery shot coming in from Papa Pawin onto the top of Silence for I was about 660 something. And yeah, Camille, I guess he's waiting for crossfire shots, Mojo, expecting them.
This is exactly what I've been saying. It doesn't matter. Utopia will not lift a finger to fight here as long as they can connect with Arti. They will try to do several shots. Papa Pavim will shoot, and when they think, okay, we're just gonna break them, they're gonna send a mouse. Mouse will soak up most of the damage. If they don't shoot him, he will shoot them for much more, and then they're gonna just go and pick them up. This is so bad. He 100% is going to kill them like this. Look at this. They took double damage on both Deha and Silence, and they're just losing a game by sitting passively like Utopia did on Cliff.
Deep breaths, Mojo. Deep breaths, Mojo. It's okay. It's okay. This is still recoverable here by Oops. Looks like Camille's finally making a move, but not Pieces dancing round in circles up on that hill. Oops, you are literally throwing this match away unless you can do something. Camille finally decides to come down from his hill and say, hey guys, need a bit of help. Silence and Deca are like, yeah mate, thanks, we've been getting pummeled. A little bit of damage going back into Rulazek there, but still, I mean, Oops really have nothing planned here. I guess they're just scared of taking damage, which is silly, because they've already taken a truck ton to the face, and the minute Utopia decide to push, it's going to be over in a couple of seconds, Mojo.
They lock themselves there, but there is still a possibility here to do something. We just need to see how will the Bachats of Oops perform. That's going to be the key issue.
I mean, Rulezek can keep poking and prodding here going forward. All the Batchats are sitting really far back here from Oops. Camille has now finally joined him. Nice shot there from Deca into Rulezek. But I mean, look at this. Papa Pound's just going to be prime in this position. And this is a push coming in from Oops. Let's listen into the team speak of Utopia to see if they're ready to defend from this.
Oni górą mogą pojechać batami.
Так.
Они в меня вкатывают.
Nie, dołem ja.
Jadą, wyjeżdżają.
Wyjeżdżają górą.
Баты 600 хп еще. Я снизу буду сейчас агрессивно.
No ja тоже.
20 sekund.
Odbili, oba KD, oba KD.
Окей.
Dobra, spokojnie, to jest nasze.
Да,
To jest
я
drugie.
нормально стою тут, короче.
Ja 9 sekund.
Они
Точно
зажаты,
таки.
спокойно, просто баты есть?
8.
Сука.
Да, у меня 4 есть.
Мы можем их поджать? Бихуя
Если у вас есть, вы
Они
можете
уезжают.
нажимать.
Они пытаются уехать.
Jest, dobra.
Хорош. Сейчас давайте выйдем и one on free заберем сейчас. Давайте.
Давай.
Я первый
Давайте.
выйду.
Ej, spokojnie tam, halo. Dynamo.
Wyjeżdżaj.
Dawaj,
Я
Borys.
еду.
Пробуй одного.
Ubij, ubij, ubij.
Убил одного.
Блядь.
Убил.
Dawaj,
Давай, я еду дальше. Стой.
Bichu, ty możesz grać, ty masz hapeki, Bichu. Tylko, że ja dwie pulki.
Ja dojeżdżam z tobą.
Mańkiego celuję.
Dobra, jest nasz.
Pana różkę? Może pana różkę?
Mańkiego mam przy sobie.
And well, yeah, that push coming in, Mojo, right as we switched into comms, Dead Zone was eliminated.
Dead Zone was pretty much one shot at that moment. Papa Pavian did a really number here. I think he will go above
damage.
3k damage
Top
here for
damage
sure,
easy,
maybe even up to 4. Not really. But Oops played right into the Utopia tactics. I mean, I really don't understand why, because if you want to play RT against RT, there are two ways. Like, you will either try to press them from the start and you will not stop. You will not stop. You're just gonna play against it, and you're gonna try to use advantage of the tanks you have. If you don't want to do that, you will let them get into that cap, and then you counterattack them. Again, in full numbers. Not getting chipped on, like, losing almost 2 entire tanks. And there we go. Another one. Another one bites the dust.
Papa Powan, you absolute monster. You have tormented Oops in this round. Look at this, Camille, 4 health. Spent most of the time up on his little castle. Now he's back down amongst the little people, and well,
You
Oops.
can't even say it's his fault. Someone
Yeah,
who's
someone
commanding the
made the
battle
call
needs
there,
to
said,
call him.
stay there. I don't know what it is. Don't, stay there, Camille. It's okay. The 113s can tank this artillery shells.
Yeah, we have 8 minutes to get shot more for.
Come
That's
on.
fine.
I'm not the tactical genius here, and even I could say that that was a really, really bad position play from Oops. I mean, all that's happening there is those two heavies are sitting there, like you're saying, dum, 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 and nothing in return for it. And then what you do is suddenly the fight starts, and they're like, hey guys, these 2 1-3s are pretty much 2 shots, let's push.
I don't know, it was flawed from the start, same as Utopia had a flawed tactics on Cliff.
Yeah.
And this still leaves that Oops has to attack now, which maybe suits them better because they will be able to dominate what they actually want to do on this map. But still, this was rather sloppy, and I'm kind of worried they will probably actually go to 2-2. There is a high possibility of that here. But of course, it's all up to them. I just hope they will have a better plan and communications this side. We will even hear it on TeamSpeak, so we'll know.
True. It was nice listening to Utopia's TeamSpeak because they're a team that has a mixture of Russian players and Polish players, and you can sometimes pick out some choice words and phrases that you perhaps know if you do know some Polish or specifically some Russian as well.
There is
Now-
quite a mixture there, like Polish, Russian, English, whatever, man.
Coming into the damage here, Mojo, 5.5k is what Papa Powan did. 3
Easy.
kills.
Easy.
What an absolute beast.
That's one of the top damage dealt in this season. We still didn't break on EU
On
6000.
this map especially, I've never seen damage like that. Never. And he had a free farm for doing it as well. Like, that is ridiculous. And out of all the artillery players you would give an opportunity to, why the hell would you let Papa Powen do that to your team?
There is dead zone. He got deleted.
Yeah.
Deleted when the push started.
You know, if Papa Powen's on artillery, pretty much about 90% of the time he's going to spank your team, and he's going to spank them hard. And, well, maybe Oops are just a glutton for punishment. Maybe they like taking that beating, but
It's a good wake-up
crazy.
call because they had 2 games that were really organized on Cliff and they looked strong, but it did kind of maybe just made them sleepy
Yeah.
or whatever. Like easy game, but it's not. You didn't win.
You can't
And
sit back.
this is a trademark of Oops. They do get relaxed too easy.
Yeah, way too easy. They talked about that when they were 4-1 up against Ding. They just kind of thought, psh, easy mode, and then they just tilted big time. Let's have a look at the lineups for round 2, Mojo. Are we going to see another mouse coming in here? Oh my god.
Defense 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. New tactics for step. But there is an arty here by Oops.
Utopia. What the... Like... This is so hard for me not to swear, Mojo, out of shock. In my head right now, I can hear Daki laughing at his desk. I can hear Daki screaming with laughter at his desk watching this right now.
Dude, like, this is a dream come true for Arty. Even the tier 8 Arty. He needs to shoot for the next 8 minutes before they even approach the mouse tanks.
When I said, are we going to see a mouse, I honestly had no idea of the lineup. And they've got an Udes in there as well. That Udes is going to go up.
No, that's a spotter. They need a spotter somewhere.
Jesus. How,
And he can recheck backwards, you know that.
how do you get through this? Like, really, how do you get through this if you're Oops?
Work with Arty a lot. And then work some more. I mean, it's not like mouse tanks will catch them, you know? They
Yeah,
can
but
rotate the map anytime they want.
They're going to sit on that ridge line. So they're going to have base 2 secured, locked down. And then they're just going to spot 1. And then when they want to push out in 1, they're just going to drive forward and just
My
bully
bet
them
is
off.
they will just keep Udes spotting. And when the cap triggers, they will just start peeking with mouses. And they're going to just hope it works. I really don't like it. I mean, there is a reason why Utopia has 20% win on defenses of steps. This might be the one of them. But it still remains to be seen. Maybe they will surprise us. Maybe Oops will not know how to counter this.
Silence. We just saw 5.5k damage. Now, I wonder if you can top that. It's going to be TeamSpeak Oops. I'm almost tempted to go into TeamSpeak from the very start, Mojo, just to listen to what's going through Oops' mind right now.
It's going to be a rather slow game, so it's going to be a long TeamSpeak then, man.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
This is unbelievable. 6 mouse on steps. This is a new meta coming out here from Utopia. Utopia red side defending, Oops blue side attacking. Utopia bringing the Udes and then 6 mouse on what is the most open map we have here in WGL.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
You can see that Oops really can do whatever they want on a map now. They're just going to disperse all over the place because there is no one who can counterattack them and catch them. I mean, if any of these butchats get caught with mouse tanks, he should just delete the game immediately. Abort any kind of possible place for the Gold League in the future.
Now, Silence can potentially do a huge amount of damage if he gets one in through the engine deck. He can be set on fire. We talked about this before with Daki. Takes a blind shot already. Actually connects with Muka, so there's 511 already. So Silence is starting up his tally here, and he's going to see if he can top what Papa Pavan just did. He's got 5.5k to beat.
One of the butchers should just go on A5 and find Udes immediately, make him stop spotting for the Utopia, and then they can just trigger the cap and shoot and run away. The question is only, do they have enough hit shells? Because normal loadout of butchats is maybe 1 to 2 clips of hit, and the rest is usually APCR for the open maps. Maybe for some others you would take more hit, especially since the meta changed, so maybe people are taking more hit now in. But still, with APCR, it's really hard to play against mouse unless his side turned like to... Yeah, it's going to be a lovely fight for him.
Silence is just playing whack-a-mole here, Mojo. This could actually go really bad for Utopia. Because if they're not able to do anything against these tanks of Oops, it's going to be exactly what we just saw in the previous round. It's going to be an arty farm, And they're not going to be able to react to it. Because even when you start pushing with mouses, all you do is run away with the back chats.
I didn't see from the start, but I believe they had more than 20,000 HP. Am I right?
Yes, because they've lost 500 and 600.
And 600. So this is the first time in the game we've seen about
20K.
20,000 cap. Here, Oops effectively had like about 9,000 HP less from the start.
Oh, there's a miss. The first miss so far coming in. So welcome to the Silence Show, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in. This is where we watch an artillery player called Silence pummel Mouse from distance.
Yeah, but the question is, will he pummel them enough? The time is ticking. His reload is about 30 seconds, so around 35, 36, 37. I can't remember with all the skills and Coca-Cola, but still.
I'm sure chat will tell you right now. I'm sure
I am
somebody in chat.
100% sure.
Actually, Mojo, it's 36.33 with all the crew skills and the equipment. Somebody will be like.
Anyways, if someone knows, they can freely write it. I don't really mind, but the fact stands. It's a longer reload, and if he misses shells, it's not going to help their case because there is so much HP to grind here. And if you go in any kind of cap action, you need to actually finish it because they can always send one mouse to spot and others to snipe, and it's not going to work out. And for Oops, because mouse is hitting butt shots, yes, there's going to be about 500 HP plus minus. So, yeah. In this moment, they need to spot more proactive and connect more. Rulezik losing a gunner here. There is a possibility he actually doesn't have a medic because mouse tanks could use only chocolate and repair kit and fire extinguisher. Even 2 repair kits maybe.
And the damage just continues from Silence, but at the moment it's not enough. Now I'm wondering if this becomes a new meta, Mojo. We're ever going to see teams take double arty because they're thinking that a team might be going with this heavy mouse setup. And
No,
then
but
the team just
one
plays against
tier
them.
9 arty could destroy them. Like
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Well, let's see how much damage done. It's going to be really awkward here for Oops trying to break this down. I really don't begrudge them in this situation. Well, that's going to be a beautiful shot. 4, 5, 3.
Yeah, it was a splash.
Yeah.
It wasn't a direct.
But it's nothing. I mean, it's nothing. They're still Utopia still has 1,700 HP right now.
18,000 HP still for Utopia. Effectively, they lost 2k all around for 4.5 minutes of a game. Yep, plenty to go around and not so much time here for Oops. Oops will actually have to think of a way what to do. What?
It's a blind shot into Camille, and he's not
not
moving.
moving.
Camille's disconnected.
Oh,
Look,
man.
he's got exhaust smoke coming out his engines, and his tank's facing forward, and the gun's facing backwards. He's DC'd.
This is so bad. This is so bad. Wow.
Holy smokes, Mojo.
Well, after that cliff, the things are not going well here for Oops. Obviously, they're quite surprised by this lineup, same as we are.
Rulezik's
Rulezik took quite a beating
there.
here.
Massive hit. Dead, driver, fuel tank. That looked like maybe a pen for his engine deck. Didn't actually see that one coming in. And yeah, Oops, what a nightmare start actually having Camille. What looks like a disconnection there. Or he went AFK.
I don't think so. You don't do something like that in a matches. I mean, he got to disconnect, that's for sure. And it's gonna cost Oops heavily here because they're
548,
gonna
nice
need
shot.
every ounce of HP and rounds on these mouse tanks. 4.5 minutes till the end. Still a 6,000 HP advantage here for Utopia.
They really needed that shot to connect here onto Shoku. That could have swayed things, but there is a base cap being started here. Are they going to try and triple cap? They're trying to 2-cap it. They're trying to force the tanks coming in here. Now, Mojo, let's see. Let's listen into the team speak here of Oops and see how they're going to try and seal this match out.
I got blind shot.
15 seconds load.
They're pushing up with one mouse. Guys, can we just go out and kill him?
Yes,
Do it again.
kill Shocker.
Yes,
Guys,
yes.
go out, go out, go out, go out, go out.
They're pushing with 3 tanks.
Deja, I'm aiming Shoku. Go back. I will probably hit you.
Help
The
them,
Judas,
help them.
the Judas open field. Judas open field, Judas open field.
Nice, I got
Cap
reload,
again?
reload.
Can we cap again?
I'm gonna keep spotting.
Shoot
Can we do damage? Just
Bichu,
Bichu.
Track him, track him.
Loading.
Somebody
Nice.
track him.
Cap again. 22 seconds
You
reload.
can-
I'm having to be.
Go. Reload.
spotted.
I
Oh, I got spotted. The Udas is sitting there again.
30
Is?
seconds
Needs to perk spot. No, you can cap. I was so fucking... Dechan needs to spot. Like go close, yes, come down.
If you spot
Dynamo
who
is
I'm
up.
shooting
I
at.
cannot do anything. Right
Guys,
now
you need to
because
cap.
someone shot. Yeah, just cap.
They're gonna go again with the mouse. We need to just execute mouse by mouse and stay alive in the meantime.
Distract. Call it so distract.
They're too much HP. Oh, big hook. Intenso.
25
After that gunner.
He's just connected.
Why don't you say and go and cap then?
Udes.
Udes.
There, Udes.
Run, 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 run.
Can somebody shoot the Udes? I have mouse aiming at me, and after that gunner.
No, I cannot.
I will kill Bihu in 10 maybe, if he's still spotted.
Papa, say if he just makes the spotting run, it's fine.
We got bad luck. If we had Camille, we could win this.
I've just chilled.
Bihu.
Nice, nice, nice.
Listen,
We can seal Maywood.
Listen, we will push this to Castle Point now.
what's the HP of the
Guys,
Dude.
if you push this
Come,
mouse, if
come.
you push this mouse,
Do it.
Two guys cannot come here.
I have
And help
35 seconds. I will clip him in the side too.
You can
But you
catch
need
Oka.
to cap after this. It's not gonna work.
We can kill them, Myland.
We need to kill Judas
Silence,
and
go up.
I spotted.
Okay.
I have 20
But
seconds.
I spotted.
I need to shoot
No.
first.
Doesn't go up. You're useless there. Go up.
I have to push up. Can we cap?
Yeah, I will
in
go
time?
cap for 3 seconds.
The
I will do a
Udes is
shot
spotting.
before
The
12.
Udes is spotting. The Udes is spotting.
Just execute that mouse. Silence. Shoot
It's
and go
not
into
gonna
cap
work.
right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Both shot.
Can you double cap, you two
I
guys?
shot.
Yes, silence. Go cap.
Don't take damage
Yeah,
back.
Guys, just kill this Udes.
You have to
Kill this
double cap.
Udes.
I cannot kill it.
No, kill one mouse
I
if
have
you
two
can.
shells.
I'm spotted driving into cap. I'm spotted.
Yeah,
They only two
stop my
shells.
cupola.
We cannot cap.
Yes, with 2. Why?
Fuck. If we had an ODC, we would. I'm just
I also
gonna
got
waste a
spotted.
minute.
And well, Mojo, a really unfortunate situation there for Oops having a player disconnect in the middle of that battle, and it could have made a big difference there actually in sealing out the end of the match here.
Yes, if Camille was there, there was a potential for them to do something. I also think they should have protected that I7 a bit more. They didn't connect a single shell on Udes when it mattered, when he was going for a spot. And Utopia actually covered their flanks rather well. So this is how the game ends here. Utopia comes back in a, let's say, big style, taking guitar steps.
Yeah, yep. Very different tactics from them. They really punished Oops at the start. Oops just let them beat them up, basically, on round 1 here on steps. And in round 2, Utopia surprised everyone with going for a 6-mouse meta. Oops kind of knew what they needed to do, as Deadzone said. All we need to do is like shoot one mouse as they come. But the problem is that, as you pointed out, by 4 minutes down, they'd only taken off 2,000 health from this team, and the team started with over 20k.
It's not like mouses always come the same one. So you can, you shoot one, then you shoot the next one, and you shoot. No, they are gonna appear sporadically with a different kind of exchange of HP, and every time you get shot back, if you don't give at least 3 shots to the mouse, you didn't even profit from that one. You're actually losing the exchange.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. They were trying to get the Udes, didn't get the Udes, the IS-7. Deka actually missed a shot near the end, kind of really important one. He could have got one into the side of Muka. He was Joe, and it could have had a big difference, big impact in the battle, but it is what it is. Player disconnection's unfortunate, can't restart, the battle's already in force, and well, there we go. Almost silence, almost. He got 5k, so he was only 5k out, Mojo. But massive plays from both artilleries in these rounds here on steps, and really, the team's kind of letting him do that. I mean, for silence, it was more easier because he was shooting against multiple mouse.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot really compare those two because what Papa Pavian did, he wrecked a more mobile team.
He was shooting
allowed
tanks on the move as well and getting splashed.
Yeah,
tanks
I think he pretty much one-shot Deadzone. So he did a lot of damage like that, while Silence had all these slowing giant elephants all over the map, you know, so he could shoot them at his own will. Still, it was obviously not enough. They really needed that one extra butt shot, and Camille, really bad game. And Melan, he didn't have a disconnect, but
Meland, what happened is they pushed down in the cap circle and they were doing the cap, and then they tried to back off to come out and shoot, and then when they went to go back in the cap circle, Meland got spotted and everyone just
shot. And it wasn't spotted by Udes like he thought.
Yeah, it was
one of the mouse tanks.
Yeah. But
when I was doing the video with Ducky about the new tanks like Type 5 and mouse buff, Ducky actually proposed there is a version that you can just use coated optics on a mouse, combined with Vent and Chocolate and the crew skills. It actually has view range above 500 meters. So there is a high possibility one of them was just peeking and going forward.
Doing it that way,
and
yeah.
doing spotting it, because once Mayland will fire and he was clipping there, he would see him for sure.
Well, Oops had a great lead, and now it's drawn back to 2-2 here with Utopia. We're going to go into Prokhorovka now for our next map. Prokhorovka could mean another open map, and well, I really don't think Utopia are going to go with 6 mouse this time.
We will see what will happen there. We've seen Kazna already play with 3 in attack, spotting middle actively with them. So, I don't know. Let's just keep it open.
Yeah, there's a high possibility. We don't know what we're going to get at the moment here. Now, I mean, it's 2-2, Mojo. How do you see this progressing? Do you still think it's going to be 5-3, 5-4?
Yeah, I don't think like this will be a swoop. I think this map most probably can just go 1-1. And then the next map after that will be Ruinberg. So very possible tiebreaker here, Ryan, unless someone surprises us here.
Ruinberg is interesting because generally a lot of teams have been avoiding it, and especially with the new meta. Okay, it's a city map, you're expecting heavy tactics, but it's a map that lends to teams trying out more experimental stuff as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens if we do get to, or we're definitely going to get to Ruinberg actually, because no one can win it here from this stage. Let's have a look at the lineups, Mojo, here for Prokhorovka. Utopia are going to be attacking first, then it's going to be Oops defending, and well, look at this, double mouse on each side.
Object 268 for Utopia. This is the first time in this season, or any, I think we've seen it. It does shoot heat shells, so that's an advantage.
Is that the right TD?
Well,
generally it's the other Russian TD that we see.
263, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that one has APCR, so that's a different kind of story. This one has a bit lower profile than 263. It does have a less accurate gun, but it does shoot heat shells. And obviously, this is what they want when they want to shoot a mouse or something like that. This is the first and original tank destroyer tier 10 from the Russian tree, the oldest one.
Yeah, I mean, is this the one that everyone was saying though was...
It was a beast before, but
yeah, but
like everything in the game, it got
now it's
several...
redundant, and people are saying it's a terrible tank and not really good and all this kind of stuff.
Yes, but if you park it somewhere where you know it will do damage against the slow tanks like Mouse, more than adequate, I would say.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see if this works for Utopia or not. It's all squared 2-2. Let's jump into Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, one of the first maps in the game. Teams start at the regular spawn points as they do in standard battles. Bases are separated from each other by the railway, so the defending team has to choose whether to send their vehicles to the left side, playing them in the centre, or to the right of the railway, occupying the hill and a part of the village. The attacking team usually attacks the first base. However, the teams often go for face-to-face confrontations, 7-on-7, in the hilly terrain at the centre. That's why both teams frequently use vehicles with good gun depression angles and sturdy turrets.
Utopia, Mojo, red side attacking. Oops are going to be in the blue side defending. If you are a fan of either of these teams, guys, drop by their Facebook pages at the top, say hello, give them some encouragement. There's Silence and Spoink here, Mojo. They're taking up position on the right-hand side of the map with the rest of Oops here. And Utopia are going the same side.
Interesting play by Utopia here, climbing a 268 up on a mountain. They're using it obviously instead of Grilla because of the same alpha, but a bit armor there on Muka side. And yeah, let's face it, it's going to be hard to kill. But Dynamo already, Dynamo taking quite a big chunk of damage.
Dynamo peeking up over the middle there, and that wasn't a very good idea as he takes more than half HP down. He's on 843. He's not going to have a good game now.
He must have taken a shot for both mouse tanks. Oh, he's even lucky then. He could have lost much more.
Yep. Silence up here on the rails. Algo and Mayland choosing where they want to drop over. And actually, it looks like Oops Mojo are going to push up through the middle here. They're switching positions, which don't know if that was actually a good idea, because now they're actually going to give up a lot of that side of the map to Utopia. I guess from that scouting run of Dynamo, Oops think that everybody's on the other side of the map.
I don't know what they think, man, but it does look like they're quite confused today. They want to clear the other flank so they don't get any kind of possible traps. This is the normal standard military procedure, if you can say. You cannot really commit your tanks on a 6th line unless you know there is no one in your back. And that's what they're doing now.
Dead Zone's the one that's in front of these two Batchats. He's just waiting for shots to come out and kill him, but there is nobody on that side as he drives about trying to bait out any kind of spots where Mayland and Spoink are ready to shoot anyone in return. But, well, Oops don't know it, but we do. There's nobody on that side. At what point do the tanks of Utopia get spotted and then these tanks will rotate around? Because if they come around all the way south, Mojo, they could have a really nice crossfire.
This should be a trigger now for Oops, and they will probably press that 2 line. But they are worried, of course, because that could be also a trap by Utopia. You can always play a mind game and leave a couple of guys like 10 Destroyer. Like 268 does double damage of 1 Udes. So that can also be a reason for picking there for Utopia guys. You can see how they're massing up their budgets, and Deadzone is going for his fast push on 2 line, but obviously there is no one there. They're though well anchored on the other side. They have the STRV here, play by silence, and 2 mouse tanks on the middle. But Utopia is rather passive again.
I don't like this from Utopia, Mojo. They're in risk of getting pinned down in an area where they have very, very little cover. And Oops can do a truck ton of damage here. Once these Batchats get onto this railroad, Colozoid's coming back, they're suspecting something. Depending what Colozoid can spot, actually no, he goes north. They're not going to spot these tanks till the very last minute. Deadzone can actually get some peaks, and these tanks from Oops can get a lot of damage done across here onto the hill.
Well, they're doing some blind shots with Papa Pavia, and he's safe in that ditch down. So he's trying to shoot some obvious spots that could be held by Oops spotters, or maybe some positions that could be used to trap them. So he will say, hey, I had no connection here, I had no connection here, I had no connection here. And based on that, they will just move the rest of the tanks and try to apply pressure along the rail.
Deadzone going for a proxy spot here across the rails. You can see Kozoi spotted. The 2 mouse of Maraka and Rulezek are spotted as they trundle forward here. Looks like they're going to try and use them as a block onto base 2, Mojo. Bait out some fire while the rest of the team do damage into the remaining tanks of Oops, but I think this is really not going to work for Utopia. I think we're going to get a really nasty crossfire for them in just a couple of seconds.
Look, all the slower games are working well for Utopia, as we've seen so far. So if they manage to slow down Oops play, they can even get a top hand out of that, because we've seen Oops is much better at reactionary play and some initial offense that can surprise an enemy. But there is no hint of that here, so Oops will actually have to counterattack them in some moment. And then it will be all about focus fire and how are the tanks divided on a map. How well can they cover each other?
Deadzone spotted out the Batchat that's down south with him. His Papa Powan's also spotted as well as Mayland and Spoink push over the rails here. Now, cap being started by one of these Mouse. Deadzone nearly killed himself. Deadzone might actually drown himself at this moment. Papa Powan could get a kill on him. He is reloading. Deadzone should be able to get this one, actually. He's going to be safe. Papa Powan might try and go into war, but no, Deadzone gets the kill here. They've lost Dynamo as well, and here's the crossfire I'm talking about. They're just going to sweep round the back, actually, instead of getting him in a crossfire. And Utopia, well, their positioning is yeah,
questionable.
It's not going to be
questionable
good to
is the word you wanted to say. Utopia is mainly positioned here toward the A line, but that was a mistake here because Oops completely abandoned it except with mouse tanks, and they put STRV to cover their backs. You can see STRV hug the rock, and he's just watching back on a Batchat who will try to shoot mouse tanks in the back. All of the mobile tanks from Oops came from the lower side. They did use Deadzone in a suicidal push to resolve what are the exact position here by Utopia, and it really paid off handsomely because he even picked up an arty, so he knows that mouse tanks are rather safe.
It's a big miss there from Mucka onto the mouse of Deka. Now look at this, Mucka in the crossfire. Batchats have climbed the hill. Spoink getting the killing blow on him. Utopia are now caught in the crossfire. They have tanks up on the hill that can shoot down on them. They have the 2 mouse in the middle that can shoot at them. They have a TD in the middle that can shoot at them. And yeah, Utopia have basically just driven forward and left their butts exposed here to the tanks of Oops.
This is a clear sweep here for Oops. They will pick up this round and it will leave the match wide open again. But still, this is a defense and this is still a very defensive map. Mayland is taking quite a beating here, but these Batchats will be out of the shell soon and then Oops will have an upper hand.
Realizic taking another bit of damage there on Utopia. Mayland's pretty much dead now. 78 health, drove down that hill, and the 2 Batchats that were remaining of Utopia were able to focus into him. Now, it's not quite over yet at the moment, Mojo. Oops are bleeding a lot of health here and trying to finish off these remaining tanks of Utopia.
Man, it's over. It's just a matter of time. When will they do it? They hold the hill, they hold the center. Utopia cannot outmaneuver them. They're in reload with Batchats. When this mouse falls, this is it. There will be only 2 squishy tanks, Colozoid and Bihu, down there in a ditch. They're gonna get charged by entire Oops force, and that will be it.
Raka going down swinging here, fighting off against Camille and Deka in the double mouse. It's mouse on mouse action right now as he gets another one into Camille, and Maraka's actually doing a nice bit of damage down here before he goes. Colozoid and Biku just hiding over on the right-hand side of the map, hugging that 0 line. It's not going to do them much justice, much health here. Actually, it just depends on how many tanks can Oops hold together here. Can they survive with 7 tanks?
It's just a matter how will they actually choose to kill them. It doesn't really matter because they can just go drive forward. Having reload or not having it doesn't matter at this moment because these tanks will fall.
Bihu actually getting the kill on Algo, and then Spoink falls to Colozoid, so Oops didn't get there for 7 tanks. But look at this, Camille getting the kill on Mouse. Colozoid gets the kill from the other Mouse of Deca, and there we have it. Oops now take the lead 3-2 here. And that was nicely done from Oops to be able to react to that. And it was pretty rubbish from Utopia to move into that position, really.
Utopia took their sweet time to try to test with Artie, are they getting into some trap or not. So they shot on a lot of positions. They thought that some of the Oops tanks might be. Oops was very hesitant because of that, because they haven't seen the real force of Utopia. They've seen one Bachat, they've seen 2 Mouse tanks, and they were thinking, should we go 1-2 line? Do they maybe have a trap for us there? Are maybe 268 and a couple of Bachats waiting there to just annihilate us for free while we are checking the forest and so on? And that's why it took so long. But after that, when Oops realized they're all on that side, you could see that was rather a blitzkrieg action. Dead Zone went on a suicidal push, which paid off.
Nearly flipped and drowned there in the water. It'd be so funny if he ended up upside down in the water.
Oh, I was like, wow.
Deca coming top damage there, 3.7 damage. Silence coming in, 2.9 damage there, Mojo. Camille there, 2.9 as well. Baraka doing 2.9 as well, Mojo. Are you happy with that? Rounding up
brilliant,
good?
brilliant.
Okay. Anyone who's confused about that, Mojo was giving me a telling off yesterday for not rounding up when I talk about the damage. And then Colozoid and Bihu, 2.6, 2.1.
So far, most of these games we've seen, they were already won tactically. We haven't seen a single game by these guys yet that was actually decided in a battle itself.
And here is where we talk about Papa Powan being very hit or miss, when artillery can have a huge impact or it can have 0 impact.
He was taken out before he could even do something because he never had a target to shoot at.
Yep.
So he was just probing what can be done, and after that, Dead Zone just YOLO'd in and suicided like in random game, man, and just shot him and deleted him out of the equation.
But he survived, you know.
But that's the thing with M40 RT or any RT when you are attacking. If you're on that side of the rail, that is exactly the one single spot where you can be. Others were checked, you can be along the rail, but that's super risky. Easily, you can get spotted and killed. And if you want to be safe, you go down there, and then you rely on the rest of your team to cover you. He knew if he actually gets there, even with 100 HP, unless Papa Pavian managed to do a derp shot on him, like straight smack on, that's it.
If he went into the wrong angle and hit the ground too hard.
If he went like a pebble in the water and flipped, that would be definitely a highlight of a century, but he didn't.
Yeah, indeed. Let's have a look at the lineups for round 2 and see what we're going to get here, Mojo. Are we going to get 6 Mouse? Oh, Jesus. Holy Utopia, you trolls! God!
Wow.
You guys are...
But Oops has a Lorraine Artie now. Like, they will hit him for, I don't know, 200-300 damage max, man.
Can we get team comms again right now to listen into Oops right now? Because...
the salt coming out of it?
Utopia, don't do this to me. I'm trying so hard not to swear this season, and you guys are making it so difficult.
Well, Oops playing with the normal setup here, but 6 Mouse tanks. I don't know. I think Oops should just try to get the middle immediately and shoot down from the cooldown, whatever they can. That's why Utopia has that M40 RT, so they can still blind shoot some positions and reset the cap.
Well, Casna crew, if you're wondering how to do a 1-2 push successfully, Utopia are going to show you, because I think they're going to drive down there with 6
I'm
Mouse.
pretty sure they're going to drive to over the middle, straight.
Just
with
go
everyone.
straight onto the E line and just say, hey, Oops, you want this? Come get through it. It's like an American football lineup right now that Utopia are doing. They're just setting out the defensive line here and they're saying, come through us. It's like watching Pro Bowl play Little League.
Papa Pavian, a solo American RT within the German Steel team.
This is ridiculous, Mojo. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, they're not above 20k now.
Unreal.
That's my quote, man.
Papa Palvin as well in artillery to back it up.
So 2 mouse tanks are going toward the 1-2 line, and the rest are actually going to be here along the rail. I really don't expect them to cross the rail because that would be quite nonsense and not needed. They're just gonna play the hold down here. And Lorraine Arty, yeah, I bet they're laughing about it, because if it was a tier 9 American, they should be super worried, or even M40, but Lorraine Arty is kind of a tactical Arty. You want to shoot butchats with it, you don't want to shoot mouses.
Deca taking a shot back there, and they're all trying to get focus fire here into Maraca. There was multiple shots out there from the 113s, and only actually one of them penned, I think. Actually, the pens that came in were from the STRV.
Yeah, Maraca lost 1300 HP there.
8
so
artillery shot coming in as well, killing his driver. Not a great exchange. I mean, there could be huge potential damage here from the STRV. Spoink has to be careful that they don't push up here and focus him, because Muka and Biku are just going to drive straight down the throats of anything on this flank.
They definitely should. One of the mouses should just go, man, forward. There is nothing they can do about it.
It's dead zone on artillery as well, Mojo. So he's not normally an artillery player here for Oops. And
yeah, it's really strange. It's usually either Insane or Silence. I never seen actually Dead Zone played before in the season.
Dead Zone has a really big role in this battle. It's super important that he can land those shots and actually get them to pen. Splash damage is definitely not going to be anywhere near enough to be able to do anything here. This is going to be super difficult for Oops. The only thing Oops could realistically do that would be effective is trying to do some kind of bait to pull the mouse away on the other side of the map, but Utopia are not going to fall for that. Utopia are going to make sure base 1 is completely locked down. They're going to force Oops into making a play on base 2. Then they're just going to roll over that railway line and say, hey, let's have a brawl. Yeah, this is this is ridiculous, to be honest.
I have a feeling
2 times it's been 6 mouse they've used here, and as a defensive line, that's just so much armor and HP to try and break through.
I just have a feeling that Utopia is trying to just drag Oops into the mud with all of these mouse tanks to make them nervous and maybe go to tiebreaker and then try to beat them there. Because if they get 2 points, they're going to be equal in points, and then the last match, Utopia plays against Suba, and Oops actually plays against Kazna.
How did he not spot Dynamo there? Oh, Spoink, like I said, he has to run because they're just going to push up and kill him. BQ now actually has another shot onto him. Perhaps Spoink might just get himself safe. And
one mouse fell through the ground. I just saw it.
He left that one very, very late there to be able to run away, but a shot went back into BQ. But I mean, it's just like a fly. It's just like a buzzing of a fly to these mouse right now.
I think these guys from the middle cannot really peek to shoot him because they would expose their sides to the Oops tanks. And Oops is actually closing in there. There might be even some kind of fight, is there? No, they're just trying to prevent them from shooting Spoink.
You've got the artillery as well, so they're trying to hug the rail line, so it means it's harder for artillery to get any shots in. Kozoi taking one in the side there from Dead Zone, it looked like.
Hey, it must be Dead Zone.
And look at that from artillery there, coming in onto the back of Deca, 687. That was so close to getting through that engine deck, Mojo.
Man, so far so good for Utopia. Like at the moment, Oops has no idea how to deal with this. They cannot pressure the cab because one of the mouse tanks is just lean over, and shoot him, and the rest can also go take some damage and give some damage back. Every damage, as I said, if you take, let's say 100 damage, you do to the mouse, I don't know, you actually need to do triple damage than you take in every exchange.
Every batch,
because if you take 2 for 1, it's still not enough because you're so much down on HP.
I mean, Oops need to draw Utopia out to get crossfire shots, and then Utopia are just not going to give them that. Utopia are just going to stay, head to head with them, and there's no flexibility. The only other kind of flexibility that Oops could have had was to flank up the 1-2 line. In a way, you could have argued that maybe that's what it should have done from the start. Just rush 1-2 line, try and get perhaps the drop on artillery, because it's highly likely that artillery is going to be in A1 rather than over at A5, because it's very easily spotted out. Try and kill that artillery, then try and get the hell back out of there right now, because, I mean, Papa Palin is going to punish them. Anyone who's stationary for too long is going to get hit by Papa Palin.
I think we're going to see more and more of tier 9 artillery pieces used, or M40s if you really want, because Lorraine Arty, let's see the connection, there you go.
165.
It doesn't really work. I mean, its penetration and amount of damage it can do is not that great.
And look at this. Again, it's just chip, chip, chip on the health pool right now. of Oops, and there's nothing to counter it right now. They've already lost Deca, they've lost one of their 1-1-3s, their heavy tanks. Milan's got his health chip down, Spoink's got his health chip down, Camille now just gets shot at as well. And in return, okay, they've done a fair whack of damage on Utopia, but still, Utopia have like almost double the HP of Oops still on the board.
Man, that's 6,500 HP more. What will Oops do to counter it? They already lost one tank. It's questionable do Bachats, as I said already, even have enough heat shells to deal with them. Silence definitely does have, Mayland and Camille definitely do have, but they cannot exchange shot 1-for-1. Mouse can always peek around, pick up a shot and come back and say, okay,
Two's on fire.
It doesn't matter. Oh.
In the water, doesn't put out the flames, unfortunately, Camille. Unlucky there, as he took a truck ton of damage, 4-2-1. He's an easy one-shot now for anyone in that team. Yeah, I don't want to say I told you so, or I don't want to say I called it, but here we go. Oops, I know you're not going to be listening to this, but if, when we go to Runeberg, if Oops are able to take the first round, or perhaps, I don't know who's going to be defending first, but here's the thing, Oops. Bank on the fact that Utopia are probably going to go with 6 mouse and something else. If they do it again, it'll be the 3rd time in this match that they've done it. And it's working in their favour, as Dank. Haiba said previously when we were listening to Team Comms, the problem is we didn't take more mouse.
I wouldn't even call that that kind of a problem here. When they saw that many mouses, I don't know, I have the feeling they needed to do something a bit more decisive in the start and try to establish themselves further in the village, maybe even risk, get some of the positions. But they really couldn't. This is the problem. They cannot exchange. So you can see now, like Algo will take out this mouse, but there is 3 minutes left and there is still so much HP advantage, 5,000 or 6,000. They have taken a mouse that is deliberately left over by Utopia guys, but there is 2.5 minutes.
I was just going to say, Algo's now probably going to get hit by artillery, and that's exactly what happened. He got hit for 640 there.
Bihu is doing the spotting for the rest of his teams. I think the most of the other mouses will slowly rotate to boost his position because they are aware only one is more than enough to dominate the 2 cap. They cannot really get attacks from that side. So this is the last hope for Oops. They can gather up and try to kill one by one of these mouse tanks like they tried on steps. But again, the time is time is not working for them.
Algo shot again. He is able to reposition, and Papa Powan's going to come off reload. Algo is still spotted. Well, Papa Powan let a blind shot fly. Spoink is spotted. Papa Powan is quite good at hitting tanks on the move. Will he get here onto Spoink or not? He does actually splash him just a little bit there. Mojo takes him down to half of the health that he had left. He's now in 4-1-3. Now, what can it be done? He's the dead zone, still trying to chip away at the health here of Bihu. Shot into the flank, might do a bit of damage here.
Look at this. This is a side shot for that. That's pathetic, man.
Yeah, it's not so great. Oops need to be a bit more decisive here. They need to push in. 1 minute 40 left on the clock. The problem that Oops have is they're attacking. They need to either kill everyone from Utopia or they need to triple cap. Triple cap is completely unlikely right now, and killing everyone, well, you've still got 10,000 HP on the board, and you don't have tanks focusing anyone right now, so this is going to be a really tough call.
I think the Oops made a super big mistake leaving Spoink in the forest alone. They should have left STRV-TD behind him and at least one more Bachat. So if there is a mouse kind of push from the forest side, they would actually have some DPM to deal with.
What's the shot from Papa Powan on Mayland? Papa Powan's holding the shot. Once Mayland stops to try and peek over and try and get a shot into Colezoid. Papa Powan, 630 right in his face. He is spotted. Mayland gets the kill on him, but there's 56 seconds left on the clock. This is going to be, it's going to be Utopia here taking the round. It's going to be 3-3 as we then go into Runeberg. And well, it's going to be a tough one for Oops. Utopia showing like, hey, we don't really want to have to battle out for 6th place for our last match of the season.
Honestly, it's been 3-3 for last 5 minutes. It's only the Oops guys who are still trying to, struggle a bit against it. But they didn't respond well from the start, and it costed them dearly till the end. If they... I can understand. Okay, you go push with 1-on-3s on the middle, you do initial shots. That was fine. That was fine. Why they split off so many Bachats and STRVs? I don't know. Keeping the forest line a bit defensive would really handsomely pay off for them. They could even show tanks elsewhere. They could split around over the map. It's not like mouse tanks would close them in.
Yep, and in fairness, they've managed to get the health pool here of Utopia down to 5.2. Now, Dynamo is a one-shot, Kozoi is a one-shot, Maraka is a one-shot. You could argue in a way that had Oops been more aggressive into trying to isolate these mouses and rather just kind of play about on the rails that could have been a hell of a lot more effective.
Not aggressive. Aggressive would be a wrong word there, but if they played their game differently, completely different. They played it like they're playing against the standard team, but the reality is there was 6 mouses ahead. We noticed like Oops is usually fast, responsive team, but maybe Insane not playing today is costing them heavily because he would probably have a better idea at the moment what to do.
I'd imagine he would be quite vocal about what happens when it doesn't go their way.
Still doesn't change the fact he is a guy with good ideas.
Indeed,
so
indeed.
I think they would really need him in this situation, but it's just not happening for them at the moment. Still, the match is on. It's really equal, 3-3. It's a tie one. The problem is the next map.
Yep, indeed. Let's have a look at the damage done in this battle. So at the top was Dead Zone in the artillery, chipping away at the health of everyone, 4.6. But at the end of the day, realistically, it's not enough. He wasn't doing big hits with that Lorraine. It was constant drip damage, basically, and there was huge amount of HP on the board. The next top damage is actually Papa Powin in his artillery. So top 2 damage dealers in a round.
Yeah, as I said, like, I really believe we will see more and more of those tier 9 arties, maybe even tier 10s. On moments, but tier 9 is the best choice because then you can still have a tier 9 tank paired with it.
Yeah, we saw Conqueror gun carriage being used yesterday on mines.
It was brilliant, and I believe only one shot, a wrong shot by Seago decided the match because he chose to shoot the mouse with more HP instead of Bachat with less, and it actually did cost him a game. But it doesn't matter here. Look at this, Poink, who was alone in the forest, he was split in half by those mouse tanks pushing, and he did practically nothing in this game. That's what I meant, like they should have played a bit more trap against them.
Now, it was quite interesting there because I was having a look at the damaged block there by Armor, and I think it was Muka had something like 3.6k damage blocked in that round.
Yeah, because he can peek, so that's all fine. I mean, mouse tanks are used for that. You can just peek around and you angle your armor, and there is a high chance you'll just bounce it. What I want to point out, next map, Ruinberg. That will happen now.
Shenanigans, Mojo. Shenanigans is going to happen on Ruinberg,
Both
I bet you.
teams have horrific record on it. Oops has virtually 0% win rate out of total of 3 games they played. Utopia has 0% in attack and 100% in defense, as far as I remember. Yes, I'm correct. And they played only 5 games. So you could not say really you've seen them play it, none of them, because you have no idea what we'll do now. We can have a hint by Utopia, of course, as you said, because they play with a lot of mouse tanks.
Oh, thank God.
And they have 3 of those and the Type 5 Heavy, and they have virtually no spotters. And Type 5 Heavy is used so he can splash against the possible cap with some obstacle tank like a 5100 or CDC that people are using, because the derp gun has a splash. Oops playing with STRV, 2 mouse tanks and an RT. Let's see how will that work actually. There is potential for them here.
There is a potential that RT could do a lot of damage here because they are going up against a very slow lineup here of Utopia. Now, what's interesting here, Mojo, is that Utopia are once again going super defensive, super campy in a way with their lineups here. They're bringing the armor, they're bringing the HP, and they're just saying, okay, you guys are attacking, well, drive into us. We're not going to do anything too aggressive.
This can actually cost them heavily. This can really cost them heavily because they have no spotters.
Well, let's find out how it's going to go. It's all squared 3-3. Let's go to Ruinberg.
Ruinberg, a mixed type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the centre square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village when playing a heavy setup. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armoured heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the centre or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
Well, how are you going to do this one, Utopia and Oops? Oops are attacking from the blue side, Utopia are defending with the red side. HP difference, Utopia already has about 4k HP more than them.
Yeah, this is what I expected, that Oops will actually play the lower side here because there is no spotter here for Utopia. But Utopia deliberately is pushing with most of their forces toward that side so they can just overwhelm them with HP. Considering that Oops has no TVP tanks, this is why Muka is going actually so aggressive here, because he knew that Bachats will not be able to just catch him and clip him out on the way. If they had a single TVP, he would not be able to do this kind of passage here. Papa Pavian sitting with his mobile artillery piece, Type 5 Heavy, behind him, covering everyone else from Utopia. The rest of the 5 guys are close to the 2 cap.
Camille getting some blind fire shots out there onto the middle road, but no connections coming in. And this is interesting what you're pointing out here, Mojo, that Utopia, they have nobody to spot with. They're purely reliant on somebody shooting and then everyone focusing back on who shot.
A big hesitation here by Oops. They're really taking their sweet time. That might have been a mistake because they had the opportunity to try to clip out on one of the VZ tanks before the mouse tanks actually arrived.
And this is something I wanted to actually mention earlier on, is that we listened into the team comms on steps, and to be honest, the team comms from Oops was not controlled at all. It was lots of people talking, lots of people saying to do different things, and it was very unorganized. And I guess that's one of the biggest flaws that perhaps has dogged Oops all season, is they haven't had that standout, I'm in command, let's do what I say, or like, guys, let's just, you know, just be quiet for a second and let's
Everyone
should
have an input, but the main word in that team still has insane, and he's not here. So that's an issue. That's definitely a problem for them. And it works well for Utopia so far, because by now, Oops honestly should have closed the match after that 2-0 lead. But
Indeed.
we can see they're struggling. And if they lose this side here, there is a high chance it's going to go to tiebreaker, or Utopia will just do something to tip them off and win the other side. We can see Oops is now more or less giving up on this play. I really don't know what will they do with Algo then. Are they just leaving him and Deha as baits and they're trying to counter-attack from other side?
Because Shoku already gets a big shot there into Algo for 5-2-3. Kozoid's going to move up now as well, perhaps with another tank in. Well, Algo, hopefully you've not disconnected now. No, he's still moving, he's turning, that's okay. Maybe he's just trying to draw out some fire, draw out some bait, but Dead Zone's moving up behind him now, Mojo, as well here.
It does look like he's trying to go to cooldown here. This is an old cooldown position. You
Melon
can use
spots
it
Mucka at the top
many
of the
tanks
map.
here. Yeah, he is already spotted, so their rotation is pretty much cut off already. And let's not forget, Papa Pavian doesn't play an arty, but that derp gun can actually connect Algo even in that window.
Yeah, I mean, the danger is with no spots, it's going to be really hard as well for Silence to make connections as well. Silence can do potentially massive damage. The Dead Zone sitting in the cap circle in the batch at 25. Algo getting smacked in the face there again.
It must be by Tie 5. Must be.
And that's going to be a tough one
Papa
here for Algo.
Yeah, he has to fall down because he cannot play against the derp gun. Dead Zone is in a cap, but there is so much HP here on Utopia side. They will just push forward. And if they see him while he's fleeing, he's going to be deleted.
He's going to get wrecked really quickly. And the thing is that they know the cap circle started, and they know there's pretty much only one place where Dead Zone can be as well. So Bihu and Dynamo are going to push up here on the middle road. There can be crossfire from Camille, but Camille's only get one shot. They're going to start blind firing awards, trying to get shots into Deca and the Dead Zone. Dead Zone's still sitting in the cap circle, 1 minute 10 to go. But look at this, there's a push coming through the Mouses in the city as well, Mojo. They're already going down the 0 line. They have no one to contest this, but Dynamo is taking a massive amount of damage for poking there. Algo and Deca are the only ones who have taken damage here on Oops, and this is actually going in Oops' favour right now. They're doing the damage to Utopia, but they need to start focusing it more. They need to start actually taking more HP down.
Yeah, honestly, it was really foolish play by Dynamo there. He should not have peeked like that. It was Captain obvious that Oops will have some tanks in a crossfire from the other side. This is what they should have done from the start. Push with the mouses from the top and do massive damage from there. Rulezik is taking quite a beating, but still, there is like about 3000 HP advantage for now for Utopia.
And just like that, Oops have managed to get 2 kills though, but they've lost Deca in return, so it is 2 dead for Utopia, 1 dead for Oops. Oops still struggling with the HP, simply because Utopia brought so much armor on their side, but so long as Oops can get these guns to work for them, they can actually start doing a truck ton of damage, because they're starting to get a surround here onto Utopia, Mojo.
Yeah, this is good. Mayland can be a really crucial piece here in this game if he doesn't get deleted by something like Type 5 Heavy. Of course, there is still a lot of HP here, advantage for Utopia, but there is the problem of how will they do it because they're slow. But Papa Pavian, he's getting close to Kamil. There is no bouncing on this. This is just taking less damage. He will do some, that's for sure.
Melon clipping out in the back. It's 4-7-6. Melon has to back off now because there's crossfire coming from the town. This is
Melon
dangerous.
is in a problem. Melon is in a big problem now.
This is dangerous because Mucka's now going to push onto him. Melon isn't a reload. He's going to play ring around the roses here on the building. That could keep him safe for actually quite a while here with Mucka because, well, Mucka's not fast enough to go around. Shoku taking a lot of damage though, and Papa Pawan finally gets the kill on Camille as Dead Zone gets the kill on Shoku. Still everything to play for here by Oops. They can survive a bit longer. Melon just continuing to draw out the fire here of Mucka, just making it last longer, and Algo needs to move out of that area. He's Papa Pound's going to come round here and shoot one right in his butt, Mojo.
He's gonna take him out, and Mayland is in a big problem here because he is pinned by 2 tanks, and there is still only Artie and Dead Zone there in the game. Because Mayland effectively cannot really take out any of these guys. If they were better organized and not going around the same corner, they would take him out by now. So this leaves Dead Zone alone and Artie piece and 3.5 minutes to deal with all these guys. It's just not gonna happen.
Dead Zone driving out there into Colozoid, and a bit of miscommunication with him and Silence as Dead Zone wasted a shot there as Silence actually got the kill. Now, what can he do between the two of them? Dead Zone, does he reload? He should actually reload now because he knows that no one's near him. And Silence in the artillery piece, well, this is one of these things, Mojo, you think to yourself, was it really worthwhile taking an arty piece? What could you have done with another tank in that
Honestly,
position?
I would take a... If I played against Utopia on previous maps, I would take a tier 10 arty. I would take a gun carrier and play with that against them. And I would play a rather more mobile setup than they have at the moment with 1 or 2 heavy tanks. And I would just go on spotting, like pinning them down from the start and try to spot. It would be a risk, but it would pay off much more handsomely than this.
Papa Pound trying to get an angle here, or sorry, Silence trying to get an angle on Papa Pound. Dead Zone is proxy spawning him right now. Silence trying to get an angle. I mean, Silence can kill him, but then you've still got Bihu and Muka. Dead Zone could actually duel one of them one-on-one and then try and run away. If
With
he
the
gets
dead
in the
driver?
crossfire, it's going to be
He has a dead driver.
True, true.
They shoot every 9.5 seconds.
They're gonna sit there hiding behind the buildings and say, "Hey, come get it!" Like there's base 1 completely safe, base 2, you know what it is. You want it, come get it. And also, at the minute they're spotted, they're just gonna move behind the building.
Papa Pavian can one-shoot Dead Zone. That drip gun does 1400 damage. If it pens a bit more, a bit less. Even if he doesn't, it's gonna be a massive damage. So Bihu is the only guy Dead Zone can actually attack, and he has only 3 shells. He didn't reload. That is about... That's not even enough for Bihu. What is he doing?
Yep. Dead Zone spotted, so Mocha and Bihu are just going to press in on him because they know they can both take him and they can both trade shots, and Dead Zone's got nothing to do now.
What is he doing with those 3 shells? Like, he cannot kill...
He can't kill either one of them. He's trying to get a spot for Silence.
No, he can kill Muka. Yeah. He can't kill Bihu, but he can kill Muka with it. But what after that? He's going to get chased.
Okay, there's one into Muka. Silence doesn't have a shot, though.
If I were Bihu, I would push.
The thing is they don't know how many shells Dead Zone has.
Doesn't matter. If he gets spotted, he's gonna get double shot by someone. And there you go. Bihu spotted him. He takes one in the back. Muka does the second.
And
and there is a big mouse in a row there that you didn't see. Oh my god.
Oh, laddie. Oh, laddie, laddie, laddie. What a whoopsie. What a whoopsie there from Dead Zone. Silence now the only player left on Oops. He fires a shot over into Biku and Muka's direction. No connection from it. So this is going to be Utopia taking the lead here 4-3. They're going to be on match point, and this is definitely not how Oops planned to run out the season, actually, because their last match now is going to be against Kazna Crew. It's going to be important for them both to get points here.
Yes, but still it's not over. Oops has a chance to defend the Ruinberg and go to tiebreaker. So there is a possibility for them, if they're not really too tilted about these plays, and they should vent off and just reset and go smart as they can in this defense. They do need these points.
If they can win tiebreaker, they're still safe. So they'll still be safe and they'll still have 4th place.
I think even if they win 1 point here, they have still a huge chance.
They're on 21 points at the moment, and Isuba and Utopia are on 19. So Isuba still have to play Utopia. So Oops need that. They need 2 points. They need to be put on to 23 to be absolutely safe.
If they win 1, it's enough for the moment, and the decision will be in the last match.
Yeah, but if they want to control their destiny, they need to win tiebreaker. And right now...
Even 2 is not enough then.
Right now, they might not even win tiebreaker. Might not even get to tiebreaker. Shoku coming out top damage there in the mouse, 3.9, then Dead Zone, 3.7 pretty much in the bat chat. Algo actually doing really well in the IS-7. He was... not really in the fight for too long there, but Silence and Artillery did a bit more damage here, but yeah, it was a tough one, a really tough one here for them.
Not a really pretty game to look at, rather slow, and Oops is kind of struggling to find solutions how to deal with them. They even have opportunities to change their picks. It's not like by the rules you submit your picks to the admin before the game starts, and then you go by them, but there is always time before the actual match here to start it, but they they don't seem to know how to deal with this amount of steel. They're used to fast plays from the old meta. That is something that goes well with them as personalities, I guess. And they need to find a way to reinvent themselves according to this plays.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Oops played really well earlier or later in the season here, where they were able to play, especially in Himmelsdorf, it still sticks in my mind. He did a bait tactic on one side of the map with heavies. Team came all the way around to deal with the heavies, and they sent other tanks round into the other base and did a quick cap. Now, it's not possible to do that against the Utopia lineup here of all the triple mouses, because Utopia always push the mouses out into a certain area where they have both bases covered, and they don't fully commit to doing one full base defend or the other.
Even on the open maps where the Oops should have rotational ability, actually Utopia managed to lock them off.
Yeah, I mean, they had no rotation on steps.
I mean, it was really bad karma when Camille disconnected on steps. It was really bad karma, maybe even costed them that game. Still, it doesn't change the fact that Utopia took at least 3 other rounds fair and square.
Interesting mix of tanks here from Oops, FE215B, we've not seen for quite a while being used, actually. Amex 50B, 103, 2WZs, Mouse and Batchat. A lot of flexibility in that defensive lineup here, Mojo, but I mean, Utopia, they've got the Armoured Fist, and then they've got the Batchats, the T49 for the mobility and rotation.
Well, there is a lot of shooting capabilities here for Oops, like that FV heavy. That's a super great sniper. It's only the question, how will Utopia use the mouse tanks and Batchats? Like, will they use them on one side, or they will just try to pincer, like send mouses somewhere and then strike with Batchats and 49 from the other side? We need to see in this match now.
Yeah, how's this one going to go? Utopia currently leads Oops 4-3 right now. It's Utopia on match point. One more win for Utopia will win this round. It'll be the first time they've defeated Oops all season. Oops have won the previous 2 matches 5-2, 5-3 against these teams. This means that then Utopia, if they do win, will then go on to 22 points and take 4th place away from Oops, and they'll move off 6th place where Utopia currently are right now. All to play for right now. Oops, blue team are defending, Utopia, red team are attacking, and Utopia, Mojo, immediately all going south.
Yeah, they're going there with all forces, but that can be changed because they can rotate these guys back. T49 can be actually used as a valid block for these Batchats. You remember how you can sacrifice the tank. He has a high enough turret and he can give them some cover there. So that is a possibility always. Mouse tanks, not the fastest ones. I'm not really pro for this because I think Oops can really shut them down. I mean, those Batchats rather easy.
Papa Powan is spotted, Bihu and Shoku are spotted. They're going to rush over onto the tank that's on that flank. He's going to get pummeled. Poor Algo might die really quickly here. Does he have any teammates that can help him out? Shoku and Bihu. Shoku getting focused here at the moment. Mojo getting absolutely pummeled. 575 health. He's going to have to back off in that area. Does Bihu dare peek? Because you have Mayland ready to crossfire. You have Deka ready to crossfire. And that'll be a really crazy move for Utopia to take that.
And this is what I've been saying, like you can really deal with these Batchats before the mouse tanks actually arrive. So this is the main problem for them. Now they have Rulezik there on a center street and 2 mouses are coming in. So the things will maybe look brighter for them on one moment, but Shuku took 2 immense damage to be the active part of this game anymore. This is a huge problem for them. But Deha, he's paying back every possible health advantage they had.
Deka just trying to get better position there, but throwing away all of his HP. 67, he goes down to Muka, and that's possibly going to be a really bad play here because Oops had the advantage, had the positional advantage, and Deka just driving down there was a free kill there for Utopia. Nothing done back in return, and Shoku and Biku are still harassing that area, and Algo is still in a really dangerous position.
Algo is so lucky now to even have this HP. Camille is trying to pressure on Rulezik as they're even sniping from other side, but it's not going to happen. And Mouse actually can out-DPM Camille easily one-on-one. Easily.
Camille here in a tier 9 trying to trade with Rulezik and a Mouse. And Mouse can just angle that every time. And this is Camille just basically signing his own death warrant right now. Biku and Shoku continue to harass Algo in this corner. Algo is just living on borrowed time at the moment. Malin's on a reload. Algo's on a reload himself. He's now just came off. But look at this. Shoku and Biku were able to do that with no shots coming back in return. Now Rulezik is taking a bit of damage there from Camille. And this is actually a really interesting trade because Camille's trying to get a better angle, trying to track him in that position. Actually, he's getting hit by something else now because Silence has moved up into that area as well, Mojo. But look at this. Spoink is taking a massive amount of damage for Oops. And well, I think this is Utopia starting to take control of this match. They're 2k health above, and this looks like they're going to take the round.
Unfortunately, that was just a bug with the invisible tanks that we have since the patch, so he was all the time there. 2-on-1 actually makes sense when they're attacking Rulezik. But they're losing the rest of the battlefield, and Muka is actually chipping in. Now the not spanning of these shells might cost him life, and it did. Rulezik took him out. Muka will try to block off Silence in Colesoid too. So when they lose him, that will leave only Dead Zone on his tier 9 on 100% HP.
Colesoid and Muka double teaming Silence there in that middle road. What can the remaining tanks of Oops do? They need to kill the other tanks here quickly. Biku's down to a one-shot. You have Dynamo almost a one-shot. Colesoid is on a one-shot. Silence is going down swinging as Muka's having to block the shots here. Silence gets another one into Muka. Colesoid bounces a shot. They're surviving. Mayland is on a reload, and this is going to be a tough call for Oops to try and bring control back here.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough because Muka has 2300 HP almost there. Papa Pavian is still alive until he's T49, and he can actually have a great impact now as a light tank. He can definitely take out Algo in one shot, but he's taking a huge damage from Dead Zone, who is still holding out there.
Here's the thing, if Oops can do a bit more damage, if they can get these other tanks out here of Utopia, then they can play it safe because they're defending, they can sit back. Muka shielding Colesoid, trying to make sure Colesoid doesn't take any shots. A big point of this battle is going to be what can Mayland do? How much damage can he do? Can the team focus out Papa Powen? Can they get a shot into Colesoid? Can they get the kill? And then can he take out Dynamo? If so, then they can just run away from Muka. They don't have to engage him.
The biggest and most important thing for Utopia here is actually can they rotate Dynamo and Papa Pavian without getting spotting. They can do the double cap pressure on number 1 cap, while Mouse tanks are really playing it up to the face of Oops here. It's gonna be really close game, and there we go. There is a pickup on a Colesoid Mouse. This is really important because this is a gun less for Utopia.
Milan took a damage back there. 2 shots back. He's just surviving there on a small amount of health. It's very dangerous what he's doing. Peekaboo tactics here. He wanted to get more damage there into the Mouse. Now they need to find Dynamo. Now they need to find Papa Pow and take him out, because this Mouse is going to be a bait. They're going to try and focus too much into him, and that could be really bad here for Oops.
Dead Zone is aware now that there is no one else below him because Mayland took too much damage, but his legs Poink is on one shot, Mayland one shot, Algo one shot, Dead Zone on the wrong side of the map, and he's the only one with HP.
Dynamo was rushing Mayland there. He knew he was in a reload. Spoink's not able to get the focus in. This is what I said. They needed to kill the Batchat. They needed to kill the T49 and just ignore Muka. Instead, they're putting shot after shot into Muka. You don't need to do that, guys. You can just run away from him. You just need to kill the other guys. You play defensive, drive into the town, you're safe.
It's a bit different than that because they must do the shots wherever they can. While they're holding the corner, it's good for them. But Dynamo finds an angle. He picks up Spoink. Algo is trying to do the sniping rounds from the far away, but you do not snipe Mouse from that distance.
This is it. Over, to be honest, Mojo. It's going to be Utopia taking this one 5-3. Oops, I just don't see any way for them to come back into this. Dynamo is doing all the shots, Papa Powen's doing the spotting, and Muka is just baiting out shot after shot right here. Dead Zone is pushed up here. Dynamo and Papa Powen can rush him. Dead Zone might get shot in the butt here by Papa Powen. Papa Powen actually clips into Dynamo and does 2 damage there, and well, it's just too little too late from Oops
There
here.
was still a chance for them. They needed to abandon that zero line. The moment they lost these tanks and gather up Dead Zone and Algo together and do something about the Dynamo, because if they kill either Papa Pavian or Dynamo, they're still in a game because Muka is only one guy, but falling down one by one. This is not something when
Dead Zone,
guys.
rear armor, best armor, mate. Why didn't you just turn around and face them? That was 2 shots into your butt there from Dynamo. Now, all you have left here is Algo, redline sniping. He has 1 shot on his tank. He's 3-2-4. He has a full clip. Oh, sorry, he has 4 shots left, and well, he has an absolute mountain to climb if he somehow can manage to carry this for his team. Still possible. A shot on Papa Powen, a shot on Dynamo. Then he just needs to hide from Muka. But well, he needs to spot them and do it without getting spotted himself.
This was a really sloppy ending here for Oops. I really think they had actually genuine chance to win this if they coordinated better here in the end. Now, yes, there is still a theoretical chance if he manages to pick up either Papa Pavian or Dynamo. They're on one shot both. So if he does that and stays against the Mouse, he doesn't really need to bother by killing him. He needs to kill them. And then he can endlessly reset Muka whenever he wants without even getting spotted.
He spotted Papa Powen. He missed Papa Powen.
The more important, they know where he is, so they can divert all their attention toward his side. So this is the point where he's in a problem.
Just going to go in, going to put 3 on the cap. They're going to say, okay, what are you going to do, mate? Which side are you going to come from? Cover the angles, and
yeah. They know what side he can come from. There is no 2 sides he can come from anymore. He's even in reload, which is even worse. His reload will not even be done by the time it's over.
Yep, there's nothing he can do. Yeah, so there we have it. Utopia take this one 5-3. Oops. Well, that's another back to the drawing board for you guys. The fate of your position here on the league is going to be decided in the last day of the season, which is tomorrow. You don't get to control it yourselves. You could have been remaining 4th place, but now it's going to come down to Kazna Utopia. And Kazna are going to be so hungry for that win. Kazna Utopia still to happen. No, Kazna Oops still to happen. Utopia Isuba. So nothing. Again, Mojo, we thought we'd have a bit of clarity here. We thought we'd at least know 4th place today, but no.
There is a possibility for Oops to be 4th still, but they need to beat Kazna with minimum of... even if they get 1 point, they still have two victories against Utopia, and then Utopia, if they lose to Isuba, they can be 4th. So everything gets decided in the last day. Like, we have no idea what will be standings. We still have